I now call on Neil Bibby to be followed by Alex Johnson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I would like to join Sandra White in welcoming the debate today and congratulate Paul Martin on securing this important debate and issue in the Chamber. Pub company reform is crucial to the well-being of Scotland's beer and pubs industry, and the fact that 2 pubs close every week in Scotland is a stark reminder of the need for real action. Like many members, I have been contacted by constituents and pub tenants in advance of this debate about the specific difficulties facing rent-tied pubs. I have previously written to the Minister on this issue, and I hope this evening he will address some of my constituents' concerns. The camera briefing circulated ahead of this debate provided some eye-opening statistics. We know that forcing licensees to buy beer from their landlords has resulted in them paying at least 50% more than they would on the open market. And Camera's survey of Thai pub tenants last year showed that almost 2/3 of respondents had an income of less than £15,000. It's this type of financial pressure that results in rent-tied pubs being 62% more likely to go out of business than free of Thai pubs. And we need to remember the human cost of closures because, as Sandra White says, there are thousands of jobs reliant on employment in pubs and in rent-tied pubs. So it should come as no surprise that there is a real demand for a Scottish pubs code to ensure that tenants tied to large pub companies are no worse off than if they were free of tie. As Paul Martin has said, we have seen action to increase protection for these tenants recently in England and Wales through the Small Business Enterprise and Employment Bill introduced recently at Westminster. This includes the introduction of a statutory code and an independent adjudicator to ensure that the relationship between tied licensees and pub companies is subject to fair and lawful trading. It also introduces, as Paul Martin says, a market rent-only option so that tied tenants can buy beer on the open market. The introduction of such a market rent-only option in a Scottish pubs code would allow tenants to choose between a tied agreement and a non-tied agreement every 5 years, or in the event of a significant increase in the price of tied products. This would place tenants in Scotland in a fairer and far stronger negotiating position. This is crucial in delivering a fair deal for tenants and keeping prices reasonable for pub goers. And I'm sure there's quite a few pub goers in the chamber this evening. Presiding Officer, I want to highlight the thoughts of a rent-tied pub tenant in my own area. I met with the licensee of a pub in Paisley who told me that having seen the action being taken down south, it was a no-brainer that the same action should be taken here, and he and many others are calling on the Minister to listen to their voices. He told me that allowing pubs like his to buy beer on the open market could be the difference between them struggling to make a living and having a thriving business. Presiding Officer, support for action is widespread, as we know. Brewers, including Tenant Caledonian Breweries, Fine Ales and Williams Brothers, have all indicated their support, amongst others. They feel that tied rents place real restrictions on both Scottish brands and publicans, and that bringing Scotland to line with England and Wales would mean that those operating in the Scottish market can see positive changes in their businesses. 99% of tied licensees agree that the Scottish Government should act to ensure that the protections to be afforded to tied licensees in England and Wales are also enacted in Scotland. Paul Waterson, Chief Executive of the Scottish Licensed Trade Association, said, "Our message remains clear. We need parity with the rest of the UK, and we need it fast." So I would like to join with Paul Martin in urging the Minister to listen to those voices calling for reform and to outline this evening what actions the Scottish Government will take to provide much-needed protection for the rent-tied pub tenants in Scotland.